Well, I'm so excited to have you today. We're going to talk about one of my favorite topics, which is really about data monetization and how we build and how we drive revenue with data products. Today, we'll be joined with my dear friend, Kevin Dugan from DMI Partners. He's going to be also presenting a lot of cool things he's done with this company. What I'm doing at Google is actually one of the most exciting things is helping my customers building data products and then monetizing those data products. So I have the luck and the chance, actually, there are some of my customers in the room, and I'm so happy you guys managed to come. But the goal is really for you today to learn some of my experience and some of my customers' experience. Frankly, everything I'm going to present today comes from you. Speaking of coming from you, this is a story where actually I learned what was data monetization. Like, I heard about it, but for me, data monetization was just about selling data, like rows and columns, and then you sell it and you sell your customers' data, and I was like, well, that's pretty much it, right? And I worked with this company. It's a satellite company based out of Europe, and what they do is they were just tracking the location, the timestamp, the boat. Like imagine a data table. I know a lot of data experts here. Imagine a data table with an event, and it says, on course, and then you have the latitude and longitude. And they were selling this data via API for a subscription base of like about $3,000 per month. That was data monetization. You guys follow me? Rows and columns, and then the customers, then they can transform the data, they can plot it on a map, or things like that. We talked to the data engineering team and the VP of product, and we said, but when you sell this data, what do they do with this data? And they say, well, Skander, it's pretty obvious. They build product to, for example, optimize fuel efficiency. And I'm like, oh, really? They build, so you sell them $3,000 data, and then they build product to optimize the route of the tankers that you can see. So imagine at the scale, imagine you have dozens of tankers from companies like Maersk and CMA, CGM. And I say, how about we build a fuel optimization product to prove the value of the fuel saving to your customers? So, with a login, and then they can see their tankers, they can see how much fuel they can save. So we managed to build those dashboards, embedded into their portal. We were saving millions of dollars per fleet of tankers on a monthly basis. So now the question for you is, how much do you think now we can sell this data product? $3,000? A little bit more, huh? 6 figures? Yes. So this is, and for me, this is very important for, like, this is I was told to not touch my mic. Obviously, I touch it. I apologize. This is, for me, the most important is really think in terms of data product, and don't be fooled by those articles. And, of course, like, Google is in here, but, you have all in the press, like, data is the new oil. Like, how many of you are in the company sitting and say, oh, we're sitting on a lot of data. We know for sure there's probably a lot of value to it. We know it. Let's store it. We have all those petabytes of data. We have, obviously, all the greatest cloud system in the world. But is it true that data is the new oil? Do you guys believe that? So what I've learned is data is actually a potential resource. There's no value into data if you don't treat it as a potential resource. Does that make sense? I will try to convince a little bit more on what I mean by that. Well, if you want to monetize, and today you came here to learn about data monetization. If you want to monetize something, you guys would agree we need a data product, correct? So if we want to have a product, we need to turn the data into information. Remember the example I gave you about like the fuel optimization? You cannot just sell raw data or transaction. You cannot just sit on raw data. You need to turn this data into an insight. So everything you will see the next coming up years around data will be all about data monetization. Today, I will try to walk you and guide you through some framework so you guys also understand how valuable it is for your position. If you can see here, there's a lot of things on that slide, but I will help you understanding the gist of it. I started my career as a business intelligence person, business intelligence consultant. I was building dashboards, change the line chart, change, the dimension, add a measure. Basically, I was working on a cost center. Like my boss say, hey, build those dashboards, I build the dashboard. Have you done that? Like, change the dimension. I want it by day, by date, just filter, change the pie chart. Data monetization is transformative. Everybody talks about digital transformation, but the way we can transform the business will go through this motion of turning BI team into teams that will create data product outside of your organization. Right now, when you build dashboards, it's inside your company. How about unlocking the value of those insights externally? That will turn your organization into a profit center. You will be able to create data product to be externally consumed by your consumers with different monetization strategy. So everyone talk about data monetization. I will, in a very humble way, give you my definition. I hope you will use it, transform it, and please, if you disagree with me, feel free to meet me. I love when people tell me, Skander, there's a better definition. Data monetization is a business model. That's it. You can always start with that. Data monetization is a business model. There are only two ways in the world to go to market with data: direct and indirect monetization. So indirect monetization is when you're going to have all your insights, in your company, all the insights. Let's say you have a scoring metric, or you have like a profit value, you have margin, like all those measures and values that you provide. You can put them in your product, and it's going to basically change the behavior of your consumer. That's called indirect monetization. You don't sell the data, but you will drive the behavior. I will give you a lot of examples. The second way to go to market with data is direct monetization. You're going to sell like a premium services. And again, you'll see some examples. Another thing that we've learned is indirect monetization will always be for B2C. I will give you an example. I don't know if you guys have connected watch. Would you buy the data of the insights, like how many steps, how many, what's your heartbeat? Would you buy the data or no? No. So that's called indirect monetization. If you have like a filter, like a Dyson at home, to filter your air, it gives you like, the temperature, it gives you like the pollution, how the product makes you feel better, how the air is cleaner. That's called also indirect monetization. Now, this is my, I would say, cheat sheet. When it comes to building a data product, honestly, use it. This is, if you don't have that, you won't be able to build a data product. Like this is how I start with every single customer, from Fortune 500 to startups. This is really how I go by. First, I always remind myself to never sell raw data and insights. Second, don't, again, call a data product a dashboard. A dashboard is a commodity. It doesn't have a roadmap. People will say, hey, can you add this, can you add that? Whereas a data product has capabilities. A data product, by the way, is an application that contains analytics, prediction, and visualization, but most importantly, that has an audience. Whereas a dashboard is literally like line chart, pie chart, and people will just ask you, can you add this feature? Another thing that is super important when you build a data product, think of the golden metric. I call this one golden KPIs. What is a golden metric? When you guys go on a bank account or your investment brokerage account, what are you guys looking at? You're looking at one metric, the yield or the balance. When you look at your credit card, what are you looking at? Credit score? Those are golden metric. What is from your company, in your data product, the single metric that is going to be the contract between your application, your customers, and your business? Think of Uber rates. It helps driving efficiency for the drivers. If the drivers has a lower rate, he knows that maybe he's not on time, maybe he doesn't pick up right. We call that a composite metric. That's very, very important. If you find the golden KPI of your data product, I will guarantee you will be able to drive value for your customers. And if you drive value for your customers, you will unlock potentially revenue. Proof of value, remember what I told you about the saving gas for the tankers? Don't keep that metric for you. Tell your customers how much you save them or how much potential revenue they can get. Show them. They need to know that it's not, don't keep it as part of your dashboard. Put them in front of the dashboard. Like, hey, with my optimization tool to make better investment, if you have this, if you change your portfolio to a different allocation, you can potentially make 15% up. Tell your customers that you can make 15% up. Customize the experience. I'm sure you've talked and you've seen a lot of things around AI. I will try to tell you what AI do for data product. So hopefully I will give you some guidelines here to have augmented experience. Drive your user behavior. I don't know if you guys book air tickets or hotels like myself, but every time I want to book a hotel, it says there's only one room left. This is indirect monetization. Like it's called the panic metric. This is to drive behavior. This is super, super, super important to master the art of indirect monetization. You guys are rock star data analytics, and how can you provide insights to change the behavior of your consumer? Now, I've talked a bit about what is a data product. How can we go to market with a data product, direct, indirect? We at Google have a product called Looker. I don't know if you guys have heard about Looker. This is our cloud BI technology. Pretty much half of our customers are embedding Looker in their product in 3 ways. Just remember those 3 ways. One is called OEM. We have customers, they don't even build a web application. They literally white label Looker and then provide insights to their customers that they sell oftentimes for a premium. Second, iframes. You build your dashboard and then you can embed them. But remember, when you're going to be embedding them, you're not going to call that a dashboard. It's going to be a data product. It's going to be sales insights, subscription insights, competitive insights, all the insights you can provide to your customers that you're going to be able to embed via iframe, but also the API. Looker is API first, meaning all the data points, all the capabilities from the Cloud BI tool can be surfaced in your data application. I tried for you guys to surface some of the capabilities that I found very valuable when you guys build data product for your customers. The first one is, of course, the reporting, but also in Looker, your customers can create dashboards. That's what I love the most, is you offer them some gold standard dashboards, but your customers in Looker can derive KPIs, and then it's guaranteed they can build as many dashboards as they want, since we have a semantic layer that centralizes all the insights. They can explore data. This is also one of my favorite features. They can explore data, so they don't have to be stuck on the dashboard. Exploring data means they can pull dimensions and measures. You can offer them a data dictionary, and they can basically run query without knowing SQL. Scheduler, that is super important. You want to monetize data. You want your customers to be engaged and retained. Don't expect them to come to your website and open the dashboard. Send them a report. So schedule data. Tell them that you created a new scoring metric. You recalculated some measures for them. So use the schedulers. And of course, the API to orchestrate workflows. You can send, for example, I have a customer. He says, Skander, we're not using dashboards. They killed all the dashboards at the executive level. We send them KPIs by text messages. It's a manufacturing company. They just want to know a couple metrics every morning on, like security, production, delays, and we send them insights via text messages. So that's what the API is amazing at. Another thing that we've done in my team is, of course, we talked about Gemini, and we're like, how can we're going to use Gemini with Looker? Well, what we found out is really 2 use cases that we love. One is conversation with the data. What are my top sales? What is my margin? What are the top 10 products that we sold in London? So offering to your customers an experience that is more like with a natural language process is something that is going to be a must that you're going to have to include in all your data products. The second one, this is actually one of my preferred one. It's called the dashboard summarization. At the beginning, I was a little skeptical. What we found out is We basically sent all the data and all the metadata of our dashboard to Gemini, and we say, hey, summarize this dashboard for an executive, or summarize this dashboard for my colleague or myself in French. But also tell me the next steps. So what it's super, super powerful is you guys are going to be able to, even without opening the dashboard, create a summary like, hey, the stocks went up 5%. This product is the top product. It has, I don't know, it has the sales have increased year over year. So all this language, you will be able to have it automatically created for you. So this is something I really, really invite you to think about when it comes to dashboarding. It's going to basically, I think, open up to new ways of democratizing insights. Of course, my advice when it comes to data productization is don't necessarily stick to a dashboard. Try to think how you can create immersive experience and create data products that are highly customizable. Don't think of those as websites. Think of those as, for example, here we're using a technology called 3D Live, 3D Preview. It's basically Google Map, and we basically feed data using the Looker API. That's something you guys can see at our booth, Data Cloud. I'll be there all day if you want to see some cool data product that can give you some ideas on how you monetize them. Feel free to stop by. In a nutshell, so that's more for you guys if you want to take a photo. Just remember what's Looker. Literally, it's like it has dashboard, it has capabilities to send data action, but most importantly, you guys can create those custom application. I really invite you to think both. Like, don't stick to dashboard again. Think of like, how can we create data application that unlock and also humanize information? Isn't it better to see instead of line chart and pie chart? For example, here you have sports, you have like the stadium. So try to think how you can humanize information for your customers. That will also unlock more value for them. The thing that we discovered, so I didn't tell you much about me, but I started working at Looker in 2017. So when I joined Google Cloud, the Google Cloud family in 2020, I was like, wow, I worked with probably some of the best products in the world. Like think of Google Map, think of BigQuery, RPG. So for me, I was like, wow, like a restaurant chef, I was like, I have more ingredients now, and I can build any recipe to solve very, very complex problem. So the way, and I know you have a lot of product, but the way I will give you also my tips, my humble tips about Google Cloud, you guys have access to so many ingredients. You can build the recipes of tomorrow. You guys are like chef, and that's how I try to build my product. I'm like, okay, I want to build like a Formula One data product, racing in Monaco. What can I use? Okay, I'm going to use Google Map. Well, I need predictive analytics. I need BQML. So I'm literally like picking my ingredients to build my recipe. So those are some of my favorite products to build data product. Now I'm going to tell you a little bit about our customers. And frankly, these are the most important because my customers have actually raised me and educated me around data monetization and how they go to market. My customers actually, you guys are the best at knowing the audience, and I can only help you to build data product. So Wix.com, I don't know if you guys know them, they are website content creation with no code. And what they've done to monetize data, of course they don't say we monetize data, but they help customers like Flower Shop, Barista, and also big enterprise to build a website. So what they've done is they embedded Looker. You can see the map, the sales over time, and they created, not dashboard, they created data product. They have two data products. One is called Visitor Analytics. Think of like Google Analytics, to monitor the traffic and the visitors, the traffic source. And the second one is called Sales Analytics. So if you build on Wix.com an e-commerce, of course you want to know about your sales. So they created two data products. And one tips that they gave me is they give it for free for 1 year. They give to all their users for free these capabilities. So then in 1 year later, when it comes to renewing their services, they are more in the game of retaining customers. So the lesson learned here is when you build data product, don't expect your customers to understand the value of it right this second. Give your customers 6 months, 8 months, 9 months to understand the value of those insights. So then you're going to be able to retain them. Another customer that I really like is Cargo One. I know we have a customer in the room that works in the space. I think, James, you and I just talked about it. Cargo One, they basically help airline pricing their freight. So they do dynamic pricing for freight and transportation. So what they do here, remember what I told you about the tankers earlier? They do kind of the same for airline and say, hey, if you have a cargo to ship, if you want to reach better customers or if you want to convert better, you need to price it at a certain level. So they create a data product on Cargo One that you guys can check out with Looker. And again, what I like is I quoted exactly their marketing. They say, hey, we help airline make better decisions about pricing, sales strategy, and customer targeting. And you can see here, they don't talk about dashboards. We talk about value, and this is something that they monetize to their customers. This is a premium offering. Another one, they're in Palo Alto, Mighty Networks. It's a startup, really great startup. They basically do community for, like, let's say you're at Stanford and or like Berkeley's, for like universities, you can create your own community, or for your company, you can create a community. And then they provide a lot of tools. One thing that I wanted to show you here is how they create data product in their subscription. They create something called analytics and member data for the enterprise plan. When it comes to data monetization, you're not just going to have a data product and then monetize it. Maybe your data monetization strategy is going to be to create data product that you can add to your enterprise plan. I don't know how many of you work for a SaaS company, but you probably have like a premium, like a freemium tiers, and then you're going to be able to move some data product in order to pull customers to the higher bracket of your pricing strategy. The other one that is using data monetization very, very well is a company called UiPath that I'm sure some of you know. This particular product, they've embedded Looker for the RPA capabilities. RPA stands, I think, for robots processing automation. If someone correct me, but basically it's like robots that do function like, click on this website, analyze it, go to the next page. They basically do what humans do on a website. Thank you for confirming. Thank you. And so what they've done is, instead of building from scratch their data product to provide monitoring and analysis, they can basically embed Looker and create this data product. Well, I hope those examples were resonate with you. The gist of it was to tell you that data monetization and data product is universal. There is no particular segment. Every companies around the world, from retail, manufacturing, everyone is transforming their business by treating data as a product and thinking on how they can monetize it with those two go-to-market strategies. I hope that was useful and insightful. Now, this is going to be the best part of the presentation. I'm going to invite Kevin to join me on stage, and thank you all for listening to me. Thank you, Kevin.
All right. Thank you. All right. Good morning. Thank you, Skander, for the intro. My name is Kevin Dugan. I'm really excited to share my company's story as it relates to driving profitability and value through the lens of a marketing agency 1 year into our Looker journey. So I'll introduce myself a bit more after I go through DMI. But I'm the VP of Analytics and Marketing Intelligence at DMI Partners. We're a full-service digital marketing agency based out of Philadelphia, but with employees and clients all over the country. So my plan today is to talk about what DMI does, my story for how I came to be in the position to choose Looker, and how we've implemented it over the last 12 months and went from thinking of it as a cost center to a real value driver. So I won't use this as a sales pitch necessarily, but I do want to illustrate that with a lot of different services and a lot of different clients, we had a lot of different platforms that we were ingesting data from and exporting data into. So it was easy for everyone across the organization to kind of go their own way when it came to reporting and analytics. So prior to committing to Looker, we had teams in Excel, PowerPoint, Power BI, Looker Studio, you name it. So we really needed a tool that could scale to the smallest clients all the way up to massive CPG clients that we're working with. So pretty logo slide, which everyone loves to show, but I think this, again, illustrates the breadth of clients that we're working with, from CPG behemoths like Unilever to rapidly scaling e-commerce upstarts like Newly and Skims, all the way down to the school that my kids go to. We run a couple $100s of paid social for them. So we really needed a tool that could scale with us and scale with our clients. And I'll spare you any more company minutia, but I'll end the intro to DMI with a very simple four-word phrase that summarizes why we exist, why we come to work every day, and that is creating opportunities for growth. So obviously, we want our clients to see growth in their KPIs and their campaigns and their sales and whatever their golden metrics are, but just as much, we want to create opportunities for our employees to grow. So that is a good segue for how I came to be in the position to devote 100% of my time to analytics and marketing intelligence. So a quick about me. I'm a dad to 3 boys. Pictured here is my eldest. I assure you he's asleep in that middle one, keeping him warm, I think, with a laptop. Pretty cozy nap. When I'm not chasing my boys around, I'm chasing PRs still around the streets of Philly. I joined DMI in 2006, so way back when, on the account side. Up until 2022, I was on the agency services side of our division, managing paid search, paid social, SEO. But in 2022, at the very end of the year, we decided that we needed to make reporting and analytics a strength rather than, quite honestly, a weakness. We were doing great work for our clients every day, but the analytics we were bringing to the table was not up to par with the great work we were doing. So I was able to pivot into an analytics and marketing intelligence role and dedicate my time to building out a platform that really reflected the quality of work we were doing every day. So a quick timeline of our path to Looker. We spent the first half of 2023 kind of feeling our way through the darkness a little bit. We spent some time in Power BI. We had some folks experimenting with Looker Studio. Kind of realized that was great. We loved the integrations, but it wasn't quite exactly what we needed. We started talking to the Looker team in the second half of the year. Actually contracted with them in June of last year. Spent the last half of the year really standing up the platform, getting it up and going. We converted the entirety of our affiliate marketing business over to Looker by the end of the year, which is our most data heavy and most intensive on the client management side. In 2024, my goal has really been buy-in and expansion across the organization. So we're up to over 45 users presenting to over 90 clients across 3 service divisions, really focusing on building out unique data products that we can bring to the table that competitive agencies are not necessarily offering. In the second half of this year, my goal is really to continue to push on that monetization side of Looker. So we have 2 licenses. We have an internal and external. So we'll be standing up our external license in the next month or so. In that, the goal is really to continue to push for more unique deliverables to our clients that they're not able to get from other agencies. Part of that is just through being creative and looking at the data we have. The other is leveraging the tool that we have. So I'm really excited about the tools that Looker is bringing to the table on the AI side. I think it's going to be amazing to start to show our clients that and hopefully integrate that into our external platform as soon as possible. A quick walkthrough of our stack and our setup with Looker. So on the far left here, we have our data sources. On our affiliate marketing side, if you're familiar with affiliate marketing, Affluent is kind of a data aggregator. So we have a lot of data coming in through Affluent. Kind of some standard search metrics coming in through Google Ads. We have social coming in through LinkedIn and Meta. We have email marketing coming in through Salesforce, Klaviyo, a couple others. That's all flowing through our ETL tool, which we're using Supermetrics for. So we're building tables there. Piping that directly into BigQuery. We also have some external data sources and through Google Sheets or CSVs that we're managing. Those go into Google Cloud Storage buckets. That all gets organized and managed in the Google side. Sends through to Looker. From there, we are building our data products. So on the internal side, just really trying to focus on unique insights, improved efficiencies, client retention, sales team, all of those levers that we can pull to drive value and convert Looker from just a cost center on our expense line to something where we can start to see real value, both indirectly and directly. So thinking about our audience here, we have several users, user groups internally, account managers, senior leadership. On the external side, of course, we have our day-to-day contacts, but the goal is that Looker is getting in front of the C-suite level and decision makers as well. So even though I have the audience kind of furthest on the right here, one of the key takeaways that Skander and I have today is putting the audience first. So as much as you can survey your internal or external users prior to building out a data product to test your assumptions, what you think you know, what you don't know, what they're missing from their current solution. That's, your end product will be so much better the more you can put the audience before any sort of development or coding to learn what they need and how you can help them. So I do want to echo a little bit of what Skander was saying on the monetization side. I think it's probably the most important thing you can take away from today's presentation. We are really focusing on the agency side, on the indirect side right now. When we signed with Looker and kind of saw the price tag and saw that, OK, this is a big expense for us now, and we're really committed to this, my mind, of course, first went to, how can I get clients to pay for this? We got to offset this, right? But there's so many other ways to think about monetization, both on the brand side and the agency side. You don't have to be at an agency to think of things this way. On the indirect side, if we put a great data product out there, things that our clients have not seen before that really separate us from the competition, we will retain them longer, right? It's not hard to envision someone saying, yeah, let's do another 12 months. You guys have really been crushing it. We love the reports you give us each week. On the sales side, closing new clients, right? We can promise best-in-class reporting. We can show off the amazing work we're doing. Our close rate jumps up a couple percentage points. There's direct value there. And then internal efficiencies, which I'll show in some of the data products we've built. If we can take building a monthly or weekly agenda for a client that an account manager has to do from an hour to 15 minutes, time is money, right? So we've saved that account manager so much time that they can do more valuable work. They can find new opportunities, be more in touch with their client, deliver a better product, and not spend all day building agendas. And then, of course, direct monetization. There is a path potentially to be charging clients directly for access to an external platform. It may be on the roadmap for us, but we're really focusing on delivering the best product right now. There could be a way where we charge a little extra for an enterprise level scope, where you get extra features or extra access to the data. So that's a direct monetization play as well. I'm going to show off a few of our data products that we've built out at DMI. This one here is our new customer acquisition data product. So this is an interesting one because new customers are very important to any client of ours, but especially our affiliate marketing channel. We're working with e-commerce brands that really want to focus on generating new customers, not just getting repeat customers in the door. So this is data that a lot of our clients and competitive agencies may have had access to, but not a lot of folks were exposing the data to our clients. So we realized we had this data, we could build some cool data products off of it. So what this shows is, in this example, Liquid Death, their cost to acquire a new customer, the average order value for a new customer, a lot of metrics around generating new business rather than just repeat business. So it's really been eye-opening for our clients to see this, and really just took a little bit of surveying the users, surveying the data a little bit, figuring out what we had that was unique and how we could kind of massage that into a unique data product. This next one is that improved efficiency value I was talking about. So agenda streamlining here. Our account managers spend a lot of their time preparing for calls with clients. A lot of clients across the whole organization are expecting an amazing call every week, and we need to deliver for them. So our team was getting screenshots and pivot tables and getting that all into PowerPoint and doing a lot of work to get ready for these calls. So what this data product does is it organized all visualizations that they might need for a weekly or monthly agenda, puts it into one place. Looker makes it super easy to export to PDF or a PNG. Some folks are still grabbing screenshots. I'm fine with that because the styling and fonts and colors are all exactly how we want them here. So we've saved a ton of time with this report, and it was biggest way to get a lot of adoption into this tool from our internal team is showing them, hey, I've got a way you can build your agenda in 10 minutes instead of an hour. That's all it took to get people in and really excited. This next one is a little bit of a surprise for us, but it's on the admin side. It's out of the box with Looker, but it's user and content activity reporting. The audience here is senior leadership and managers and developers. This has been really useful on the content activity side. If you're building a data product, you can see how much it's being used. You can see the amount of queries, the amount of hours, the amount of times it's been loaded. And it's a really useful way to test if the products you're putting out there are being used as you thought they would. If something's not getting queried very much, you may have missed the mark a little bit. And you can kind of gauge that and use that as a KPI to determine how a product is doing out in the wild. The user activity has been super useful from a manager standpoint. So one of the things that was really eye-opening was being able to find some power users of the platform. So a power user that might be an account manager that is logging in 3 times more and doing 10 times more queries than anybody else on the platform. And I can speak with them. Maybe turns out they had some Looker experience I didn't know about. All of a sudden, I've found someone I can really lean on and interview and brainstorm with. These are the folks that you should really lean on internally. When you can find them kind of rising out of the user activity report as folks that are passionate about the product, if you can build a little roster of your power users, it's incredibly valuable, especially if you're at a small team. I don't have a team of data analysts and data scientists at my disposal. I have myself, a couple others, and then my power users. So as much as you can kind of build that bench of folks that are really passionate about the product, which you can uncover in the user activity reports, super valuable. The other side is struggling users, folks that may not have logged in very much or may not be using the tool. You can find folks that might be falling behind. Maybe they missed a training, maybe they're intimidated, maybe they lost their password. You can really help pick people up, make sure they understand the tool, and make sure they don't get left behind in the onboarding. So just want to recap my key takeaways here. If you take anything from what I've said today, the audience first mentality. So as much as you can survey your audience prior to building your data product at all, the end product will be so much better. There'll be a lot of things you're not expecting from them. There'll be a lot of things that you learn from those initial surveys and brainstorms. Data products, as Skander has taught me through all of this, it's been a nice paradigm shift that we're not necessarily just building reports and dashboards. Reports and dashboards, we know what they are. They're visualizations, and they have data going into them. A data product is much different. There's value there. There's a roadmap. So it's a shift in thinking about how you can start to drive value from your products. And lastly, that monetization side, thinking about that indirect monetization. Again, on the agency side, we have a few different ways we're thinking about it. But I'm sure on the brand side, there's just as many ways you can think about offsetting that cost for a paid Looker license or whatever technology you're choosing, to think about ways you're driving more value through retaining customers and partners, getting longer agreements, and saving time for your team.